Insurance. Countdown to kickoff on 1150 WIMA. Also our video segment on 1150 WIMA.com. Todd Walker here. That's Doug Jenkins, Mike Miller. And time now to do our predictions and also talk more high school football in general. We broke down the WBL last segment, guys. Let's go ahead and make our picks. Let's start with our broadcast game, Shawnee at St. Mary's. I just like the way Shawnee's playing. I think Zach Rosenbauer is back 100% now. Seth Rosenbauer, much better at QB. Indians are on a roll. Their defense is formidable. I'm going with the Indians.
I think so, too. I mean, it's the easy pick based on the momentum of these teams, but I think from a practical sense, it's the correct call because this Shawnee front seven defensively really is standout. They've played their best most recently, and they were pretty strong early in the year, quite frankly, but with guys like Rosenbauer, Truesdale, and Irons, and all the rest, they're the best around. They're too much for the Rough Riders.
Well, as the leader in the clubhouse with 2 weeks to go, I really don't need to go out there and make any crazy picks, so I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. You're right. It's all about momentum at this time of year.
Well, I'm going to fix your little strategy. You're picking every game first.
Well, that's fine. I was going to pick Shawnee anyway in this game. I have no problem with that. I'm taking Shawnee. The momentum too much. Their defense too strong, and if they can get up by 2 scores, St. Mary's can't go to the air and catch up with them.
Stat of the week, somewhat minutia, but also somewhat applicable. Shawnee has allowed 2 rushing touchdowns all season.
Oh, that's very applicable to tonight's game.
St. Mary's, I don't think they're going to score enough, and not nearly enough. They might not score at all, in fact. OG at Van Wert. Doug, we know you're picking the Titans. I'm not even going to bother. Michael, you got the Cougs or the Titans tonight?
I like the Titans for a whole variety of reasons. I think they're maybe more of the total package, but Van Wert was so impressive when I saw him 2 weeks ago, and they followed it up equally last week. I think maybe they're like a freight train with their momentum and their confidence with their offensive football team. I think they're going to outscore the Titans. It's going to be a frustrating game for OG because OG overall is a better team, but I think this is a winnable game for the Van Wert Cougars. I'm taking Van Wert.
I like what Van Wert's doing. It's certainly a winnable game for them, but I'm taking the Titans. I think when you look at them getting back on track last week with Bath, Van Wert's in a new spot now. They're playing for something meaningful in Week 9. Titans are there every year. I think adjustments will be made, and the Titans will win that game on the road. Defiance at Elida tonight. Who you got in that one, Doug?
I'm going to take the Bulldogs, surprisingly, in this one.
Nice try.
You need me to elaborate? All right. You know what? I'm going to take Elida. I like the momentum that they've got right now. I know you're going to take Defiance, and I knew coming into this that's who you're going to take. Even if you'd have picked first, I wouldn't have taken Defiance anyway, just to clear that up. I know, to me, it's about what this game means to each team, and Defiance is trying to finish strong. But Elida's trying to prove that they've indeed not just turned the corner, but they're on their way to becoming a contender in the Western Buckeye League. And if they can do that and they can execute, all they have to do is eliminate mistakes. And I think they're good enough to beat Defiance. It's not any disrespect to the Defiance Bulldogs. It's just a total show of respect to what this Elida program's been able to do this year.
Michael?
I'm going to pick Defiance. I think they've got a much better defense and a better running attack, and those two alone will be enough to make the difference tonight at Elida.
Yeah, I'm taking Defiance too, and this is more about Jerry Beauty because his team is going to be ready. People think maybe they might cash it in or they'll look past Elida. That ain't going to happen.
I totally agree with that.
I'm actually a little concerned about your picks, Doug. That's 2 where you're differing now, so you're
but you're 4 games back.
You're looking to blow your lead here in 1 week, I guess.
Well, let's see. Coming into the week, Todd was 1 game behind me at 32-10, 31-11, and you're 27-15.
That's fine.
And Todd agreed with me on the OG pick. So right now, if everything pans out the way you're picking, you're still not even in the race.
I'm only 2 back, and we're not done picking yet today.
Yeah, apparently you're a non-factor, Mike. Let's move ahead. Let's go Northwest Conference tonight. Ada at Jefferson. The Jeff Cats, really, this can salvage their season. They started out strong, but now they're 5-3. Ada rolled Allen East last week. Personally, I don't see Jeff Cats have enough offense. Heath Jackson's too much. Bulldogs will win this one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It just seems like things are starting to come apart for Jefferson. Started off with a lot of promise, but at the same time, they don't have enough defense to keep Ada in check, and certainly don't have enough offense to get the job done either. It's been a heck of a season, but this one's just too much of an order.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Jefferson has been good enough to beat everyone they should beat. They shouldn't beat Ada, and they're not going to beat Ada. I'm picking the Ada Bulldogs.
Let's go to the Midwest Athletic Conference, where earlier today we got word that Keith Wenning from Coldwater has verbaled to Ball State, so congratulations to him. Coldwater, with the last-second loss to St. John's last week, will win at home easy. They got Minster tonight. Big game of the MAC is St. John's again, this time at St. Henry. And these two go way back, just like St. John's Coldwater. I just think the Jays are too good. I mean, where can you find a weakness with this team? I think St. Henry's very good, but I don't think they're good enough. The Jays will win.
Well, heck, their running back might be their best pass thrower. Wes Holmes, pretty good running threat. Jordan Leininger might be their best throwing threat. He's thrown 2 game-winning touchdown passes this year now, I believe. I've got to take the Jays as well. I don't think a Todd Schulte team has a letdown following a big emotional victory, and I think they get the job done tonight.
All right, here's one of those separator games, guys.
You're just trying
further
to
down
sabotage
the
your season.
I could be one back with a week to go. I'm picking St. Henry tonight. St. Henry's ready for a marquee victory this year. They're physically right there with St. John's. They might need a help with a turnover or two to really get them in position, because they're essentially like the Jays. They're basically a running team. I think St. Henry matches up with St. John's tonight, and that's not to say I don't have incredible respect for St. John's, and maybe that home field will be a little bit of a factor tonight, and maybe St. John's won their state championship in their mind last week. Not in the MAC, my friends. St. Henry tonight will raise a few eyebrows and beat the Blue Jays.
See, I think, is it a letdown from last week is something to talk about, but the way I see it, every week's a big game for St. John's. They're used to playoffs where every week's the end of your season. I don't think that's a factor tonight. I think they'll go down to the Wally Post Athletic Complex and beat the Redskins, a very good team in their own right. Now, we don't often venture into the Blanchard Valley Conference, but a de facto title game tonight, Leipzig at Cory-Rawson. And obviously, guys, we don't see these teams much. I'm just going off. You look how their season has played out. You look at common opponents and good teams that these guys have played. Leipzig has fared better. Their resume, if you will, is buffier to this point. So I'm taking the Vikings to win at Cory-Rawson tonight.
Oh, you're making me make a decision here, because the way it stands now, if our picks pan out, you would tie me.
Aha!
And I could play defense here and go with the Vikings, but I'm not. John Anderson has been very good on the ground for Cory-Rawson. He's been leading the way. He's been on our coach's corner poll a few times this year because of the stat lines he's been
going
able
with
to
the
put
green
up.
and gold.
I am going with the green and gold, and who knows? I think I'm going to get a little separation from you next week.
Well, we'll see.
Well, let's talk separation. This would be the one that actually would allow me to tie Doug Jenkins. Forgetting what Todd may do, you actually may be the new leader, and I may be right behind you next week with Jenkins back in third. But this one tears me also. Don't know a lot about either of these teams. I love Leipzig simply because they're in Putnam County, but Cory-Rawson brings that green and gold thing to the mix, and I always like those colors. I even like the Oregon Duck jerseys, and nobody else does, frankly. Long story short, I'm going with the whole separator factor. I like the Leipzig Vikings.
I was going to say, if you pick based on the colors, we're going to have to start calling you Michelle.
I'd be like an NFL fan or something. I root for colors. Right?
You could win an NCAA pool that way, though. So that
Yes,
usually pans out.
It's
That's
been proven.
Good strategy.
All right, guys, good picks. And this time next week, we'll be settling the issue as far as the final record for the season. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with 3 area coaches. We'll talk with Todd Schulte from Delphos St. John's. Also, we'll talk with Mike Mock from Kenton and Bob Priest from Van Wert. It's the Web Insurance Countdown to Kickoff on 1150 WIMA and 1150WIMA.com.